Yeah, so as I was saying, it was given administrative independence, just like we had similar, not exactly, but similar to the one in Jammu and Kashmir, which ended the special rights given to Jammu and Kashmir. So Mizoram was also given some special rights, and as we see what happened when the famine hit Mizoram, there was this leader of the Mizo National Front, Lal Denga. He served the common people. He helped them overcome this disaster. And then, once he formed the Mizo National Front, he wanted a separate country known as the Greater Mizoram, and it also included parts of Tripura and Manipur. So, the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was able to keep firm and suppress the rebellion, and later on it was given status of union territory when the this particular rebellion was calmed down. That time they gave them a status of uh, union territory, and then in 1985 when Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister, that time Mizoram became a full-fledged state, and Lal Denga became the chief minister of the state. Now, Nagaland. The Naga tribe in northeast India is known as a martial tribe. The Naga tribe had settled in the eastern Himalayas, the Naga Hills, border areas of Assam and Myanmar. In 1946, some educated Naga youth established an organization called Naga National Council. Later, they made a demand for an independent state of Nagaland. They were led by Angami Zabu Fizo. In 1954, the NNC announced the establishment of an independent federation of Nagaland. In 1955, skirmishes happened between local Nagas and the soldier of the Assam Rifles. Military action was taken to suppress the skirmishes. Several rounds of discussion took place between the central government and the NNC. Central government decided to give the Naga majority territory the status of a union territory. Nagaland was made a full-fledged state on 1st December 1963 by putting together the Naga majority territory and part of Yunsan. So that is how the state of Nagaland came into existence. Okay, so in the paragraphs of Nagaland, they showed how the Nagaland became first a union territory and then a state in 1963. Assam. In 1983, there was an intense agitation staged by All Assam Student Union and Assam Gana Sangram Parishad. Excuse me. Over the question of the dominance in Assam of Bengali migrants. In 1985, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, Central Home Minister Shankar Rao Chauhan, and Assamese leader Praful Kumar Mohanto signed an accord. It was decided to send the Bangladeshi citizens who had infiltrated in Assam back to their original places. In 1986, elections were held for Assam Legislative Assembly, and Praful Kumar Mohanto of the Assam Gana Parishad became the new chief minister. Due to this democratic process, it became possible to establish peace in Assam. So, Assam also had unrest for a couple of years, where there was a bit of, we can say, choral conflict over the migrant Bengalis into Assam. And as a result of this, the ones who had infiltrated Assam were sent back to Bangladesh, their original places, and elections were held for the Assam Legislative Assembly, and Praful Kumar Mohanto became the chief minister. And because of this democratic process, peace was established in Assam. Arunachal Pradesh. In 1954, NEFA was created. In 1972, it began to be called Arunachal Pradesh. On 20th February 1987, it got the status of a constituent state. During the period from 1960 to 2000, Northeast India has progressed towards a more mature democracy. This area is on the path of progress through industrialization, speed of education, etc. So, let's move on to the next internal conflict in India, which is Naxalism. So, Naxalite movement. This movement started at Naxalbari in Darjeeling district in West Bengal. The Naxalites organized the small landholding farmers and land laborers and took charge of their lands, put up red flags, and declared their area as territory free in 1967. All those movements that took inspiration from this rebellion are called Naxalite movements. The movement had the objective of establishing action committees to raise a voice against the exploitation of the farmers by the landlords and confiscate the land of the landlords and distribute it among the tenants. Later, the movement strayed away from its objectives. It took recourse to terrorism to prevent any government schemes and welfare policies from reaching the common people. The Naxalites started a parallel system by rejecting the democratic system. This made Naxalism a serious challenge to India's internal security. So let's discuss this two paragraphs first. So, as this movement first started in Naxalbari in the Darjeeling district in West Bengal, it is called as the Naxalite movement. Now, whenever a similar movement like this happens, which is inspired by such events, it is said to be a Naxalite movement. So basically, what happened was the Naxalites took up small lands from the farmers and put up red flags and declared it as a free territory. So basically, they did not want to obey the government and they started their own government in a parallel form, we can say. So in the second paragraph, they are telling that initially it was against the exploitation of farmers by the landlords. So initially it was a good movement, but later on it deflected from its objective. It strayed away from its objective and became terrorism. And they did not allow any government schemes and welfare policies to reach the common people over there. Now, excuse me. The movement was mainly located in West Bengal. Later, the movement spread to East Godavari in Andhra Pradesh, parts of Visakhapatnam, Karimnagar in Telangana, Adilabad, Bastar, Rajnandangao, and Sukma in Chhattisgarh, Gadchiroli, Bhandara, and parts of Chandrapur in Maharashtra, Balaghat and Mandala in Madhya Pradesh, and Koraput in Odisha. In order to maintain their influence, the Naxalites established an organization called People's Liberation Guerrilla Army. This conflict is still going on. Okay. So in the next video, we will be starting with communalism. For now, this much is enough. So what you need to do is you need to go through entire thing from the start till Naxalite movement. And in the next video, we will complete communalism, regionalism. So these are the two topics which are remaining in the chapter. So that's it for now. Today, there is no homework as such. You need to go through the chapters properly. Thank you. Take care.